rest have 7 marks. Okay. The purpose of the document needs to be immediately identifiable. So evaluation and management, you ask for Mr. Zhu, who has ischemic heart disease. So you're requesting evaluation and management. Okay.
It
So,
means referral or not?
sorry?
It means referral letter, or I have to exactly write referral?
That's what I wanted to ask you right
Okay.
now.
Okay.
What kind of letter is this?
That was a referral letter.
Okay, so it's probably better to say referral if it's a referral letter, but it's not 100%. I mean, it's not written on a stone. You can say that, well, this means that I'm requesting evaluation and management. It means that it is referral. But okay, and then later it needs to be expanded on to say that, okay, what this is, what do you mean by evaluation and management? What do you expect? Okay, but you haven't expanded later. So basically, out of the 3 marks, you just get probably 1 out of 3. The content that is required, you've actually picked up most of the content except for a few problems like the dosage of the medications, the changes in medications, that the Lasix dose was actually changed from 40 milligrams to 80 milligrams. Okay, and there are a few things that you haven't included. Okay. So some information is missing. So out of 7, you get 5. Conciseness means extra information omitted, and required information is efficiently summarized. Okay. So we actually, and the length of the document needs to be appropriate. They don't actually count the number of words, but this is a good reflection that you have 220 words. It's a good reflection that you have included some information which is not required. Okay, and then actually the conciseness. Your summarizing is not very effective, but
Yes. Yeah.
okay. From the genre point of view, well, the genre of language you have used, unfortunately, is not appropriate to this kind of document, basically. Like, unfortunately, like as well, and like then, I decided to refer to a cardiologist. So you lose a lot of marks here from the genre, and then your organization is not ideal because the key information needs to be highlighted. Okay, but it is not the case. So from the language point of view, you don't have language problems. It's basically most of your language is appropriate with grammatical appropriateness, minor slips of tongue. So that means that your language is 5 or 6 out of 7. And if we count them, that's 8, 11, 15, 20, 21. Okay, so basically 21 out of 38 to convert it to 500. Okay. Okay. So how could we change this? I mean, what can we do to make this better? Now, what you want to know is how I can change this letter to a purpose which is 3. Yes?
Yes. I'm
That's
sorry, Doctor.
yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. It means it's in total is C at the exam. It's about C or under C.
This letter.
Yeah.
It's a rough estimate, but if we want to just see, it's
Oh,
280. Okay, so that would be around 280, which is C. That's right. Okay. Now, basically, you want to know what you can do to improve these. Okay, and therefore, we need to look at the criteria, which is here. I have downloaded this criteria from the OET website, okay, and I share this with you as well. You can download it from the website as well if you want to, and it is in my website as well, okay. Um, right, okay, so let's see. Right, is that large enough or?
yes, it's.
Okay. Well, this is the 2019 version, okay? OET 2019. And this is the marking criteria for assessment criteria and level descriptors, okay? And the first one that we're discussing is purpose. And we want to see what we need to do for purpose, okay? I would like to draw your attention to the keywords here. Okay. The purpose of the document is immediately apparent, okay, and sufficiently expanded as required. That would be the band 3. The purpose of document is apparent, but not sufficiently highlighted or expanded. That is band 2. The purpose of the document is not immediately apparent and may show very limited expansion, which is the case with your writing. And purpose of document is partially obscured or unclear or misunderstood. Okay, so we are here. It's not immediately apparent because you didn't say it's a referral letter.
Yeah.
We didn't expand later, very limited expansion. To make that better, we have to make it apparent. And to make it even better, we need to sufficiently expand it. Okay. And the next page, it actually explains what it means by immediately apparent. Okay. This is purpose, the first part. It says that how clearly the writing communicates the purpose of the document to the reader. The purpose of the writing should be introduced early in the document, okay, and then clearly expanded on later, okay, and often near the end of the document. The purpose should be easily and immediately identifiable to the reader, okay. And there's an example. I'm writing to you today to refer patient X who is now being discharged from hospital into your care, okay. And later in the letter, specific instructions for a healthcare professional on continuing care should be listed. Okay, so that's how we know that what they mean by this, okay, by the, okay. Now I choose this bit and I copy that. So basically this is what happened? Purpose. And so the purpose of the document should be introduced early and expanded on later. and it needs to be immediately identifiable. Okay,
Mhm.
agree?
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, so how can we make that? Let's look at this. We have example. Okay, I'm writing to request your evaluation and management of Mr. Zhu, whose features are consistent with ischemic heart disease. How can we make it better, more clear? What
I am
would you say?
writing. I am
Mhm.
writing to refer Mr. Zhu, whose features are consistent with ischemic heart disease. Just I can write.
I'm writing to refer Mr. Zhu, whose features are consistent with ischemic heart disease. Okay, and then I should say for what I'm writing to refer him for your assessment and management. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Mm, right. So that is the first part. We say the word refer. We use it. We say for the reason. This is the reason. Immediately identifiable. Okay. To make it a little bit more grammatically correct, I put this in between two commas, okay? Because this is a extra information. So I'm writing to refer Mr. Zhu for your assessment and management. Your, we can say for assessment and management, or you can say for further assessment and management. So we don't need to say I'm writing to you to refer, because obviously I'm writing to you.
Yes.
Okay. And I use assessment instead of evaluation, but we will discuss that later. Okay. Now, then it says it needs to be uh, uh, it needs to be expanded on later. Okay. The purpose should be and in here clearly expanded on later. Okay. And that is when we make an assessment and say, with regards to Mr. Zhu's um, uh, um, ischemic changes, uh, despite his improvement in CCF symptoms, I suspect he has developed or he has his I suspect his ischemic heart disease has deteriorated. Okay. I would appreciate, or I would be thankful if you could see him for further investigation. Okay. And management. Okay. So that would be an acceptable expansion, for example. Okay. Um, I'm not saying it's definitely the only way. There are many different ways of expansion. Okay. Uh, okay. Right. That is the third mark. So we have here, we've got 2 marks, and then we have some more information, some more detail, some expansion. Okay. And it comes with a little bit of interpretation as well. Okay. About your opinion and what you think it is. Or if you actually have a specific request, you can write it here. You can say, I believe that he needs to be, for example, examined, or he needs to be, he needs to have further assessment, or, for example, an angiography or something. Okay, so that is how we make the 3 marks of the purpose. Okay. Any
Honestly,
problem?
I didn't know.
Sorry?
Honestly, I didn't know.
I know, because you think that it's a language exam, but it's actually not a language exam. As you can see, um, I bring you up here to this part to have a look at the criteria. Okay. Now, there are 6 criteria here. How many of them is language?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's why, and that's why a lot of people actually are not aware that this is actually not a language exam. This is a different type of exam, and it actually it doesn't require just language. A lot of people whose language is very good, they don't actually make it, and that's because you need to look at the criteria. Okay. Uh, okay. Okay.
Now I
So.
understand that why always I'm confused when I write a letter
Okay.
because I don't have any structure for the letter. It's because of this. Yeah.
Okay. Good. So, uh, how do we know what the purpose of
Mhm.
document is? How do we find out? Uh, and um okay, Mr. Zhu is. Do you know what task, what number task is this, Mr. Zhu?
And it's 20.
20.
20, yes.
Mm, I think it's better if I just check this. Okay. Uh,
Number 20.
Right. So how do we know what the task is? And right, usually they give you a setting, who you are, but uh, we find out in this part, using the information, write a letter of referral. So it's a referral. Okay. Who is a cardiologist? Okay. So this is our plan, and referral to cardiologist for management of ischemic heart disease. Okay, and that is what comes in the last part of the letter. In basically, this is your assessment and your plan. Okay, and that is what comes in the last paragraph. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, regardless of what you write here, you need to go to a very general level in the first paragraph. Now, you need to have something as general as possible. Okay, so basically, there are 2 ways of dealing with this case. You can say, well, it's a 72-year-old gentleman with uh, mm, uh, with a with angina, or with uh, is that something new, or is it something which has been uh,
It's not something new.
it's not something new, because he has had CCF, acute myocardial infarction, and ischemic heart disease. Okay.
Yes.
So you need to give a reason why you want why you're referring this patient. Okay. So if I say that I'm writing to refer Mr. Zhu, whose features are consistent with ischemic heart disease, well, we know he has a history of ischemic heart disease. You say it here.
Yes.
So so why now? What is different? What is the reason you're referring to Mrs. Zhu?
Because his disease right now is progressive and he has some problem.
Okay. So, so this is not accurate if I say whose features are consistent with ischemic heart disease. What should I say which is better?
I don't know.
Okay. Right. I suggest something. It's a 72-year-old gentleman. Is his age important in our assessment?
Yes, of course.
Okay. 72-year-old gentleman.
He needs to write it again, the age and actually the gender of the patient, because we have it in the introduction of the letter, or in the first of the letter, that is Mr. Zhu.
We normally, I mean, in real cases, we don't have this age. Actually, they write the date of birth. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
If we have it, you need to write it again.
If it's significant, yes. Because I want to say is 72, and that is in ischemic heart disease. It's an age bracket which is significant. Okay. Okay. It's a 72-year-old gentleman. Okay. And now my reason for referral is with worsening.
Yes.
Okay. You can use other words as well. Progressive ischemic heart disease with unstable angina if you want to. Okay. Okay.
Okay. And a question about the abbreviation. Can I write the IHD without that mentioned before that? What is the IHD?
We can. We'll get to that. Okay. Right. Okay. So basically, I'm writing to refer Mr. Zhu, a 72-year-old gentleman with worsening ischemic heart disease, for further assessment and management. Okay. And then we explain here that the ischemic changes despite improvement in cardiac CCF symptoms. Okay. Right. And now we can work on this later, but I just wanted to see how we can improve this. Okay. Okay. Good. Now let's go to here. Okay. So now we know how to write a good purpose, and as you can see, it is so important and it is so easy to get it wrong. Okay. And because you have actually written something, you're saying that he is, I'm referring him for ischemic heart disease, and then you say he has a past medical history of ischemic heart disease.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Good. So let's go to the next part, which is content. Now, the content basically see the content is appropriate to intended reader and addresses what is needed to continue care. So what is needed to continue care? Key information is included, okay? And that is something that is we have to look at. What is key information? Okay. No important details missing. Okay. No important detail is missing. Content from the case notes is accurately represented. Okay, so it's got two parts. The key information is included and everything is accurate. Let's look at band 5. Content is appropriate, mostly addresses. It says mostly. Content from the case note is generally accurately represented. Okay, generally accurately. And let's see. Content is mostly appropriate. Some key information may be missing. There may be some inaccuracies in content. Okay, and that would be band 3. But your letter is, we put it in band 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Right. So what could we do to make it more
Accurate.
accurate? Okay. So the dosage of the medications. Now, when you're writing to a cardiologist, what are you expecting him to know the dose of the medications or not?
Honestly, yes.
Okay.
But okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the answer. Okay. So does he need to know that he's a retired teacher, married,
No.
gardening, smoking?
No.
No. Okay. So angina on exertion and gardening relief, slips 2 pillows, so mild postural dizziness. So these are significant, aren't they? And then he's thin and looks well. Okay. I don't know, maybe. But how about this? Postural drop.
Yes.
Okay. And JVP, maybe. Apex beat, not displaced. S1S2, no extra sound, no murmur. Chest crepitations. Abdomen normal, ankles mild edema. Okay. And assessment is mild angina, stable cardiac failure. Okay. Then here, which is that was the date was 3rd of January. This is 15th of January. That is 2 weeks later. And it's increasing dyspnea, orthopnea, ankle edema, chest pain. So it's worsening. Worsening symptoms, yeah. And then JVP high, crepitations, and ankle edema, okay. And assessment is deteriorating CCF without knowing the cause. And the plan, we don't need to say, this is my plan, or you just say, this is what we did, okay. So an ECG was performed and Lasix was increased. And now, like I say, okay, I'm going to make some coffee and then drink my coffee. Hmm?
Yes.
Okay, so you say some tests were requested and the results showed. Okay, do we need to say that? ECG was requested and the result shows that.
Yes.
So we can just say ECG shows.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Abdominal examination was performed and there was tenderness in the right lower quadrant. Okay.